the institute started in the year 1981, and it was running the University of Mumbai programs. At that time, the name of the institute was KJ Somaya Institute of Management Studies and Research. Over the years, I mean, the trust has been had applied for a private university status, and it is only last year that we got the private university status. So now the institute is actually part of the Somaya Vidyavihar University, which is a private university in Mumbai, and it is in the state of Maharashtra. As part of the rebranding exercise that was done, because there are around 6 to 7 institutions which came under the Somaya Vidyavihar University, which were already part of the Somaya Vidyavihar Trust. And as part of the rebranding exercise, KJ Somaya Institute of Management Studies and Research is now known as KJ Somaya Institute of Management. It's just started with one MMS program, but in the year 1983. And then later on in 1993, we started the PGDM programs. And over the years, my predecessors, I'm the 11th director of this institute. My predecessors they thought it wise to start sector-specific MBA programs because that would help in the employment opportunities for our students. And that's how, over the years, various programs like the MBA in International Business was started. These are all 2-year full-time MBA programs. And then this was started in the year 2007, the MBA in International Business. And then we also, in the year 2007, the MBA in Retail Management was started. Then subsequently, after doing a lot of market research and thinking through all the opportunities that were there, in 2011, we started the two-year MBA program in Financial Services. At the same time, we also launched the Executive MBA program, which is a 15-month full-time MBA program, and it requires students to have at least 5 years of work experience. After that, in 2012, we launched the 2-year program, the 2-year MBA program in Integrated Marketing Communications. Subsequently, in 2018, the thinking was that we should be having multidisciplinary MBA programs also. So in the year 2018, we launched the 2-year MBA program in Healthcare Management in association with the KJ Somaya Hospital and Medical Research Center and the Imperial College Health Partners in UK. And in 2020, that is just this year only, in the month of July, we have launched 2 new more MBA programs. One is the 2-year MBA program in Human Resources. It's a 2-year full-time program again. And of course, and also we have launched the 2-year MBA program in Sports Management. So we have a very big sports setup, and we have the Somaya Sports Academy. And in association with that, we have launched the 2-year MBA program in Sports Management. So over the years, since 1981, I think the institute has really evolved as offering sector-specific MBA programs, which give varied employment opportunities to our students, to the incoming students. And this is something which is, I think, very few management institutes in India are offering such a bouquet of management education programs. Being in the city of Mumbai, I think that is something which is it's a very big achievement for us. The type of facilities for sports that we have, it is really a delight for any person who is a sports person or who is interested in any manner in the sports activities. There is a huge potential in India. Also, there's a huge potential. And these sectors like sports, healthcare, they definitely require professionally qualified managers. And I think we are able to spot these opportunities, and we are almost the pioneers, in many of these activities. If we may not be the first, but we are among the first few to offer such type of programs. The CAT exam is just one of the, or the VAT exam, the GMAT is just one of the qualifiers to getting into the, into the admission process per se. And the CAT cutoffs, they keep changing year on year. Also we have programs like the healthcare management program and the sports management program, where we are looking at profile-based shortlisting. So I think students should not really worry about the CAT score or the ZAT score and all. They should be more looking at our process, which is very robust, and which would try to, we want to get the best students on our campus. So I cannot say a fixed target, but our, the CAT scores, the cutoffs keep changing year on year. We also believe in diversity, and we also believe in getting students from different streams. So we try to balance this whole thing out. We have students from all India. I think we have more students from the West, of course, and from the North of India. From East, we have a lot of representation now. But we have balanced, students come from all over India. All states are represented. And also, I'm happy to inform you that I think we are among the leading, as far as gender diversity is concerned, we are among the leading institutes. Almost 35 to 40% of the students every year are girl students. So there's a very good gender diversity in the institute. We are encouraging diverse educational qualifications and backgrounds. As of now, it's around 60% engineering students. And we have students from the arts background. Then we have students from pharmacy. We have in the healthcare, of course, we have students who are doing Bachelor of Dental Surgery, BDS qualified, MBBS, B.Pharm, commerce and science background. All streams are being represented, and we encourage, we want diversity in the class, because that's where there will be more of a healthy discussion and, getting different viewpoints into the classroom. I'm very proud to inform you that last year, by the time the lockdown started, we had already placed around 97% of the students in the final placements. And our average salary has been more than 10 lakhs, with the highest salary being around 27 or 28 lakh rupees. We have almost 1,000-bed hostel. There are 700 beds for the boys and 300 beds for the girls. Apart from that, these are shared resources on the campus. Apart from that, there has been some arrangement with the OYO rooms, which is just outside the campus. And we have still not used that facility because the lockdown started. So as soon as the lockdown gets over and we are able to welcome our students back onto the campus, everybody would be accommodated on the campus. So, these are things that are really some things that, I think being in the city of Mumbai, having a residential campus is something which is very, I think it makes a big difference. As far as the summer internships also go, we were able to place around 98% of the students. Many of the companies had actually rescinded, they had cancelled the summer internships, but our career management and corporate relations team, they went on the overdrive, and they saw to it that 98% of our students got their summer internships. They were actually virtual summer internships, but still we saw to it that it is there. And also I would like to inform you that though these are virtual summer internships, many of the students also got the pre-placement offers. So that shows the quality of the students and the commitment that has been given from the side of the students and from the side of the companies also to engage the students in the virtual mode. As far as we are concerned, for us, we keep getting a lot of live projects. So through the CMCR, that is our Career Management and Corporate Relations Cell, we get these live projects, and these are floated to the students, and based on the signups, the company selects these students for the live projects, and these live projects are conducted under a faculty mentor. Apart from that, we also have CSR platforms, like we have the Enactus, the Enactus platform, where students engage in various CSR initiatives. And apart from that, we have an initiative called as the Ankur ELI. That's Ankur is the name of the initiative, and ELI is the Experiential Learning Initiative. So this is it's being conducted in the Gujarati medium school. It's a vernacular school which is there on our campus, and children from the bottom of the pyramid and from the nearby slum areas, they come to study here. Our students get engaged in teaching them conversational English and math. So our students go once a week on Friday. There is a timetable that is drawn up for our students, and they engage with these small children. Our students also file a report as to what is the learning that they got by teaching these underprivileged children. So it's a great, I think it's an opportunity to empathize and to also understand that the management is not just for the, it's not for the organized sector, but it also, it can be extended to various sections of our community and society. A student who's looking at holistic education and exposure and the opportunity to, work in different sectors, because we have opportunities even for not only, as I told you, the CSR platforms that we have, we also have opportunities for budding entrepreneurs. We have an incubation center on the campus, which is called as the Riddle. So, the students get, they can associate themselves with Riddle and they can incubate their ideas. And apart from that, the management has also started, we have a fund which we have kept aside and we have a subject called as new venture management. So, these companies which are incubated in the Riddle, that's our incubation center, they come and they make presentation in the class, and our students actually evaluate these projects and then recommend how much funding is to be given to them. Apart from that, we have we have around 30 student bodies and clubs and committees. Students are part of our governance process. They have opportunities to be part of admissions, of placements, of public relations. I mean, you name it, hobby clubs like music, dance, we teach yoga, we teach holistic self-management. I mean, I think, and then we also have this sports facilities. I think student is spoiled for choice. Somebody who really is looking at holistic education is somebody who should be coming and joining our campus. My advice would be that today don't be, don't go by the salaries, don't go by the CTC. Look at the opportunities. Look at the opportunities that are being thrown up in society today. And look at the, in fact, we have one member of our academic advisory council, and he said India is rich in problems. That's what he said, and every problem is an opportunity for growth. So, I mean, I think if students are just looking at CTC and only the starting salary, I think that's a very narrow vision. I mean, they need to broad base their thinking, they need to broad base their vision, and just look at the opportunities that are being thrown up in our society, whether it could be, with respect to interventions using technology, or whether it could be even our, I mean, if you just see even our traditional, our sciences, they are also being used, or they are also being debated and discussed today, as a way of living and, helping to build our immunity and things like that. Today, subjects like Ayurveda, yoga, and things like that, they are all coming in the center stage. So there are also opportunities, there are companies which are being incubated, once again, using our traditional knowledge. I mean, look at the opportunities that are there. There is a lot of debate. There's a lot of discussion on what is the MBA and what is the future of the MBA. I do believe that, India needs professionally trained managers, and the MBA as a degree is one-stop, solution for training these students and making them employable graduates. And the amount of employment opportunities that are opening up in the varied sectors, I think the MBA will also start, following these opportunities. So I don't think there is a so-called, the end of the MBA or anything of the sort. Going to come up with even more renewed vigor using technology and using various other pedagogical tools and become even more relevant, to the industry.